How are you? Welcome you to our center. Yes, and I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing, kissing me on the face. I know it's spirit.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Spiritual Center for Living. This morning is exciting because we are going to have the best pancake breakfast, and it's my birthday today. So my birthday is a pancake from the youth group.
All right, well, happy birthday.
And it's good to donate to it because it made a big difference in my life too. So,
Okay, great.
a day
Thank
full
you.
of joy.
Thank you.
Close your eyes. Get comfortable. And just be here now. The reading today is from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. Where we've been. I had been born again and again, and each time I have found something in love. Our ability to find something in love and to love again for the first time depends greatly on how we resolve and integrate where we've been before. A great model for us exists in the chambered nautilus, an exquisite shell creature that lives along the ocean floor. The nautilus is the deep sea form of life that inches like a soft man in a hard shell, finding his prayers along the bottom. Over time it builds a spiral shell, but always lives in the newest chamber. The other chambers, they say, contain a gas or liquid that helps the nautilus control its buoyancy. Even here, a mute lesson is how we use the past. Live in the most recent chamber and use the others to stay afloat. Can we, in this way, build strong chambers for our traumas, not living there, but breaking our past down till it is fluid enough to lose most of its weight? Can we internalize where we've been through to know that we are no longer living there? When we can, life will seem lighter. It is not by accident that the nautilus turns its slow digestion of the bottom into a body that can float. It tells us that only time can put the past in perspective. And only when the past is behind us and not before us can we be opened enough and empty enough to truly feel what is about to happen. Only by living in the precious chamber of the heart can we love again and again for the first time. Breathe steadily and ask yourself, is the past living in me, or am I living in the passage of the past? Do nothing today, simply be with what your heart answers. And to know that life is only getting better and better and better. Thank you.
Thank you for that message, Nikki. Good morning. Good morning. Life is getting better and better. Please. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Yes. I hold you in my heart. Yes. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are my family. You are the face of God.
And if you would, close your eyes, put your hands over your heart. Take in a real deep breath and feel this love. This love that is the God presence, the source energy, the eternal life of love and joy, prosperity, abundance. And know that each one of us bring forward our love and our light to share with each other. To know that the kindness just exudes from every cell of our being. The respect and the honor that we carry forth for each human living a physical experience. And I say thank you, God. Thank you for this opportunity as each person comes into my life, that I'm able to recognize and see the God inside of them, knowing that we are all one, that we are all part of this magnificence, that we are all joined in this love, knowing that we are the creative force behind the world, and we can create a better world for each one of us and for our future generations by just loving ourselves and moving forward. I am so grateful to be a part of this community, to where I feel love, I move in love, and I am love. I am grateful for the musicians, for the sound people, for the volunteers, for our wonderful ministers, and for all of the people to make today happen. As I breathe in this love and this joy and this happiness, I just feel wonderful. I feel this love. I feel this light. And I feel so honored to be here. So I say thank you to each person here for showing up and being part of my world. And as I release my word to the universe, knowing that it is done, I say thank you, God. And so it is.
Got some beautiful music planned for you. But before we do all that, one of my favorites, a little Janice Stanfield. Right? Yes! Woo! I like to pick it up. Get our limbs moving. Baby! Yes, I can do all the good that the world needs. Yes! And the world needs all the good that I can do. Oh yeah!
join me in saying, God bless America and the rest of the world. And if it's comfortable for you, just turn to a neighbor and say good morning. You know, we have a power talk coming up by one of our newest and youngest members, and I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. So please welcome to the stage, Toya Sterling.
One day, while on a walk, a man found a flyer on the ground that read, "You can talk to God." This intrigued him, as just the night before he had been discussing God and the poor with friends. He picked up the flyer and headed home to have his talk with God. And all the excitement, he didn't realize the number on the flyer was a 702 area code. "I guess God is closer than I thought," he said. Just then the phone rang. Ring, ring. Then he picked up the phone and was amazed to hear, "This is God, hello." "I was just about to call you," he said. "I know," said God, "because I'm God. Let's have a 5-minute power talk." "In your world," God said, "poverty has become a multifaceted concept which includes social, economic, and political elements. If you don't believe me," said God, "just ask Google." God continued, "The word poverty usually conveys the idea of a money shortage to you humans, but actually, the word means lack of any good thing. Allow me to suggest to you the true cause of poverty. You are being distracted from the truth, a truth you already know, a truth you are not living as much as you could or should be. As humans, I created you with free will, the free will to make your own beliefs and live out the consequences of those beliefs. The belief that any of you were created to suffer poverty in any form, any type of way, is an incorrect misrepresentation of the truth. The truth is that there is nothing in the universe now, or ever has been, or ever will be, that limits you, except your own thoughts. Here's more truth with a big T," God said. "I am abundant in nature, and I created you in my image. When you make lack of any kind a part of your consciousness, you have simply forgotten the truth of who you really are, a powerful creator. You must all remember that you are surrounded by a mental principle which operates according to law, which receives the impress of your thought and acts upon it creatively and intelligently. While I am love," God said, "I am also law, and the law never fails to manifest the life you are creating for yourselves through your thoughts and deep-rooted beliefs, even if that life is less than desirable." God continued, "I gave CSL a theme for 2019, spirituality and action. What does that really mean to you?" Each and everyone who wants to break free of whatever poverty they are currently facing must know that it is not enough in these times to just wait for change to occur. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Each must take action in the direction they want to go. I know you all prefer to do things the way you've always done them, and that's why you have certain areas of your life that just aren't working. Stop turning your back to the truth and freedom I am trying to have you realize. I am seeking to fulfill greatness through you, and the more completely you realize the good I am trying to share with you, the more completely you will experience and express me. You can all experience happiness, true love, perfect health, abundance, wealth, and anything else if you only intend it and learn to live from my good rather than from fear. All you have to do is bring yourselves into vibrational harmony with the nature of that which you wish to experience through the creative power of your thoughts. You cannot say you believe in prosperity and abundance and feel scared sick when you look at your bank account and then question why you aren't living as the kings and queens you were born to be. To the degree that you truly comprehend and internalize this truth, you will be able to become the master of your minds and the director of your lives. Start by getting a clear perception of your rights as a child of mine. You come from greatness. Therefore, you are already like that from which you come. You are great. Take the time now to think thoughts about yourselves and others that are high and feel good. Forget what no longer serves you. You can't keep looking at what you don't want and wonder why it won't go away. Train yourselves to focus on a clear idea of who and what you truly are, what you desire out of life, what you really want, where you belong. You are my child. I give you nothing but good things. You are privileged. Take action from there. Take action from the good. I support your growth. I support your good desires, and I support you having a rich, fulfilling life. Understand that both prosperity and poverty are just states of mind. My time is almost up, God said, but before I go, I have a gift for you. Close your eyes, God said. The areas of your life seeking expansion come from me. Do not fear change, but rather welcome it. If you want to do away with anything poor in your life, start by redefining the word poor in this way: passing over opportunity repeatedly. What you know as poor is simply the representation, a manifestation of a place where you are not allowing me to show up in your life. I am always around, just waiting for you to say yes, have faith, and believe. When you realize the boundlessness of your spiritual inheritance, nothing shall be lacking in all your world. And just like that, the man's call with God was over. I'm Lvcsl girl. Thank you.
Awesome. Lvcsl, let's hear it for Lvcsl. And Aldo, of course. Well, my apologies. We were supposed to have the wonderful and talented Jonathan Carant, and we will again. But in his absence, I have chosen a couple songs for you. And look how cute Dave is. I was telling Dave, I'm so hot! Do something! Right? You could see us. Okay, I'm working. It's okay. It's okay. It's broken. It's all right.
It's all right, sweetheart. Thank you for getting it. Sorry. Come on, one more time. One more.
Because he knows how I get when I'm hot, how cute he is.
Oh, I can't.
And he's just going to do it while the song goes. That's fine. So, there we go. I'm so sorry you guys have to deal with me and my heat. I got some heat. I love the, yes, thank you. I love this song by Christina Perry. How to be
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Mickey. So, Toya, where are you? Where are you?
Hiding in the back.
Hiding in the back? There's no hiding anymore, girl. That was fantastic. Fantastic. It's so fantastic that I have nothing to say for my talk. And that's okay. Buy the CD and listen to Toya. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time.
We missed you.
I missed you all. So I have to make up for what I missed. All right. Who had a birthday this month? Or has a birthday this month? I know Carolyn. Look at all of this. Look at all of these. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, all of you. Who had an anniversary? Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Yeah. It is, what else is it? It's Asian Pacific Heritage Month. And it's Military Appreciation Month. So we're honoring that this month. We don't have that much time left, but we're going to get it in there. We're going to get it in. And Kitty's going to has an announcement about what we're going to do for Asian Pacific Heritage Month, which is something that I didn't know existed, and am happy to celebrate that. Reverend Cheryl and I stayed in a she shed. Honestly, we stayed in a she shed in, where were we? Covina, California. We were budgeting because we've done a lot this month. And so my sister was graduating from Laverne, from law school, and so we stayed in Airbnb. And you never know what you're gonna get, but it was a super host, so we took them up on their offerings, and it was pretty much a she shed. So it was a trundle bed. Cheryl was on the bottom, I was on the top, and there was not enough room to open the bathroom door. And because it was the day after we got back from France, I think we went to sleep at like 7 o'clock in the evening because we were tired after driving from Vegas to Covina. And so we were asleep at 7, so you'd wake up to go to the bathroom a couple times. So Cheryl's like, What I have realized in my travels, and where I'm actually off again to go to my sister's party, is how blessed I am. Not that I didn't know that, but I'm blessed to have you guys as a community to be with on a regular basis. I'm blessed to be able to go speak. I spoke at Antelope Valley Happy Mother's Day, moms! Happy Mother's Day! Yeah, I missed that too, jeez. I spoke at Antelope Valley because they still don't have a minister, and it's been, I don't know, a couple years. And I think I'm so richly blessed. One of the reasons is because I keep giving, and I give my time and my talent and wherever I can, because it fills me up. And so for a community without a minister, it just kind of touches my heart. Because, I think that it's nice to have somebody to lead the way for your people. And you've got 5 or 6 people and a bunch of practitioners that are doing so much to keep the thing going, and they can just kind of relax, at least on that Sunday morning. So that's why I kind of do what I do. France was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And no, at first I thought, well, maybe I am being a little limiting with my budget because I didn't take the opportunity to stay another week to go to all of that, which normally you would do in France. Go see the Eiffel Tower, and we did pass by it as we walked past by it, and go see all the museums and all of that good stuff. But the trip wasn't about that. It was really about self-exploration. It was really about me getting to know more of who I am so that I could express more and give more. And so in that it was more receiving so I could give more. And so next time I go to France, I'll do that. So the theme for the month is demonstrating care for others. Demonstrating care for others. And this is such a generous community. We have our annual things that we do, and you all step up so beautifully with foster kinship. And now we've got Safi on board. We share our space with a community that comes in on Sunday afternoons, and now on Friday with a theater company. And what else do we do? Lots of stuff where we have a hike coming up with Metro, and they've asked us to supply some goods to take 35 kids on a hike. And so typically I don't necessarily
think of myself as being, I just think of myself as being wealthy. I won't even go and say the other, right? If you look at my bank account, what I make, that might not necessarily tell you that, but I absolutely know that I'm wealthy and I'm blessed. We spent one day in Paris. One day. We got off at the Eiffel Tower. The bus let us off from the airport at the Eiffel Tower. We passed by it, we waved at it, and we walked to the Airbnb, which the bathrooms are so small in Paris. God bless America. Bigger is better. Yeah, I mean, really, you could barely turn around in the bathroom. And it was such an amazing experience. And you know how you know you're in the right place when you just see signs of something. So we got there and it was late, and we had a little haphazard random thing happen with Cheryl's 45-pound suitcase that we took up the Parisian streets. You know us Americans, we love our clothes and our shoes. So as we got up to that Airbnb, and then it says ground floor. That, you know, said that we're on the first floor. Well, the first floor is not the first floor like it is in the States. It's one floor up because they have basements. So me and the 35-pound bag had a little bit of a go-round. But I did win. I did win. But you know, I just kind of think about, you know, do I really need all this stuff? I'm here one day. I have some nice outfit to wear to Paris, which I didn't even put on because at this point it was 10 o'clock at night. And just kind of made me think. So I want you to think about who are the poor, because I don't necessarily know that I can answer that for you. A little bit later in the talk I'll tell you what I think the poor is, but it comes from a place of judgment. Let's just face it, it comes from a place of judgment. And so I don't need to have the answer for you, but I do have my answer. And I will share it with you. And none of us here, spoiler alert, none of us here are poor. So yeah, France had a lot of, you know, it's not one of the wealthier countries. It's not even the wealthiest country in Europe. Certainly in comparison to the United States. However you gauge that and however they gauge that, it's not up there. But there is except for Paris, which is more like New York, with that racing and racing that we all do, rushing around, and that kind of crazy building energy, which is fun and exciting. We were out in Lyon, which is in the countryside, and we were in wine country called Beaujolais. And they closed down on Monday. And they are very, how do I say this? They are very green, a very green community, right? So they really watch the products that they use in the air, the products that they cook with. And so in that sense, I think they maybe are a little bit wealthier than the United States and how they think about their environment and their atmosphere. And they're very conscious of that. But everything's kind of slow moving. Oh, get to it, you know. And you know, me, I said, oh, let's go. And so it was just a nice time to just kind of relax and take a break and still have that self-observation of who I am and what I intend to be till the next time I get back to Paris, whenever that is, whether it be a year or 5 years or 10 years. And so American, I mean, we are so blessed here. There is so much wealth and so many goodies. But I do think that there is a place to look at what we aren't honoring and how, if we don't honor it, what will that look like in a year or 5 years or 10 years? So, yeah. And I was going to kind of do the whole bypass thing about who are the poor. You know, we're all wealthy. And yes, we are all truly wealthy on some aspect because we do have a teaching that teaches us that we can just simply change our thoughts, which will change our vibration to get to that which we want. And there is also another system, a human system that goes on that first of all, not everybody has that information. Secondly, there's a system that needs some shaking up and a little bit of realization that that's not the truth for everybody currently. There's an article on a website called Ministry Matters. Poor People's Campaign, which I don't like that title. but it was launched by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King 50 years ago. And its tagline, "A Nation Called for Moral Revival." It highlights that it is a new stage of work. Perhaps the biggest challenge that the movement faces is the national myth that our country consists of the deserving rich who create jobs, innovate, work hard, and are responsible for everything good that happens in our country, and the poor who are simply liabilities who leech off the government for free stuff. This myth insinuates itself into all of our public life, even perhaps, especially in our churches. I've heard Christians claim that there is no poverty in the United States because even poor people have television. I've heard them say there is no poverty in the United States because unemployment is low. And that's just not the truth of it. You know, we can rationalize and say these things, and it doesn't make, it's not very compassionate, nor is it true. There are a lot of people that are living a place of, they don't have means. And, you know, many of us, or if we had a health challenge, we're about one step away from being poor, wouldn't we be? Because of the healthcare system, right? Something tragic like that happens. So it's something to think about. I don't know what necessarily is yours to do, or if there's anything in that to do, but certainly an acknowledgement that we are not all coming from the same playing field, and we don't all have the same resources. And so I think that needs to be looked at for now. Some prayer, which is action. We're called to do spirituality in action. That's what our theme is, TSL's theme this month. And maybe there's more to do. Maybe run for office. Maybe, you know, have us write your congressman. But there's certainly something for us to be aware of and acknowledge, in the sense that not everybody has the same means. And on that note, we have, as I said, we are very blessed to be in a country that allows us to practice that which we practice right here every Sunday, right? What the country was founded on, freedom of religion. And I mean, that's just a wonderful, you can go out and say whatever you want to say in this country. Which, much to my chagrin sometimes, but we have that right. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. Nobody's going to, I mean, you might get a little bit harassed, but that's not how the country is supposed to work. So like I said, I have a judgment about who the poor are. And this is what I wrote. Those who constantly come from a conditional basis. If I looked at the money in the numbers in my bank account, I would say that I was poor many days of the month. Anybody else ever feel like that? Right? It's not the truth of you. And I think by you sitting in this room, you realize that it's not the truth of you. Not the truth of who you are. And I am not always wealthy when I have a lot of zeros at the end of the bank account. Because I'm coming from a place of spiritual arrogance, ego, that I've done this, and I've made this happen, which is not always the truth either. It's not a good place to be either. So anybody that dwells in that current condition, that doesn't realize that they have the power to choose their thoughts, which gives them freedom to do whatever they want to in life and create their reality. People that, you know, I marvel. Julie Rodella, you know, Carl and Barbara, you guys here?
Oh, they're in Idaho.
They're in Idaho. And so many others of you that write, and you have these health challenges that kind of appear out of nowhere, and you move through it with such ease and grace, and you ask for help. It's not like you're just sitting there, you're not asking anybody for anything. You say, this is what I need, this is who I am. I am whole, healthy, and complete in my spiritual experience, and this is what I'm currently experiencing physically. And they move through that with such ease and grace that it just amazes me. You know, I'm a CSO minister, and it still amazes me that these people just have the gumption to just keep going. It's like, okay, you know, next, I got this. And they still have the ability to ask for help, and they're still doing, and they're still on their spiritual path, and nothing seems to get them down. I'm sure they have their bad days, perhaps, but I haven't seen it in Julie. I haven't seen it. Now she's just got the cane. So it's just amazing to me, the ease and grace from which people that don't believe in their current condition, don't believe that their current condition can slow them down or set them back, what can be done. physical body can be a challenge. I mean, we are human beings. We're living in an infinite universe, but we are finite in existence and in form. So my Dr. Holmes, I'm gonna say this for Sotoya because she wanted. I should let you say it, right? There's a power in the universe for good, and you can use it. It's what we teach, right? It's what Dr. Holmes teaches us. And so in that knowingness, and in the belief in that, that's what gives us our power. That's what gives us that ability to move forward no matter what's going on out there. I can go right in here into my own thoughts and into my own mind, realizing there's a power for good in the universe, no matter what the situation looks like out there. That's pretty powerful stuff. I don't think you can call yourself poor if you have that ability. If you know you have it. We all have it, but if you know you have it. And then you also have the ability to pick up a phone or send a text or send an email and say, hey, Reverend Stacy, can you get the Ministry of Prayer team on this? Because I seem to have forgotten who I am a little bit, and I need some help. Right? That's very powerful stuff. So do not ever think that you're poor with this kind of teaching amongst you, within you. So just embody it. Just embody it. You know, there's this book that, so the reason why we went to France, back to that, the reason why we went to France was for this metaphysical program that Dr. Jim Lockhart was teaching. And it started off talking about the stage of human development. I mentioned spiral dynamics, and there's a couple of other things that were taught by Dr. Jim. We also read Joseph Campbell, and we studied Carl Jung, and James Hollis, and some more spiritual psychology stuff. And now the last month, we saw 1 month ago, geez. 1 month ago, this will be the 9th and final month, and we're studying this thing called you. So we finally get to Dr. Ernest Holmes. And in this, if you haven't read it, most of you, a lot of you took the class last year. But just in the first few pages, Dr. Holmes really sets the stage about in answering the question, who are the poor? For me, anyway. He says, you, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. You wish to be needed, to be loved, to be included in the great drama of life. This urge is in every individual. It is in everything. Everything in nature is endowed with this creative urge. I'm skipping, but I skip to my kind of flows. Everything must find fulfillment or perish. Life has entered into you, and with it is the irresistible impulse to create. Create or perish is the eternal mandate of nature. Everyone, while remaining individual, shall find a more complete expression in and among all other individuals. This is your starting point for investigating the meaning of those impulses, longings, and desires which accompany you through life. Try to catch the larger vision and realize that there have been and are people, many of them, who have wooed and wed some invisible presence until its atmosphere and essence have become woven into the fabric of their own existence. There is something within you beyond all doubt and fear, something which has never been limited by your acts or destroyed by your feeling. This is the only something that can make you whole. If you know that, if you believe that, you will never be poor. Never, ever, ever, I promise you. And so, with that, I say au revoir. I am off to my sister's graduation party. I am so happy to be back and so happy to be amongst you and have you as my spiritual family. You are all amazing individuals, and you make me blessed.
We feel the same.
And I love you.
We feel the same. It's never really au revoir. Ooh, Reverend Stacy and Reverend Cheryl are back, and now they're going again. Au revoir, she says, just for a bit. I hope you have a great time. I don't think I've sung this for you, and if I have,
Well, here it is again.
Tina Turner. Call me when I need you, my heart's on fire. Come to me, wild and wild. Please come to me, give me everything. In your eyes I see the start of every night and every day. Your eyes I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could be in no place. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. You tear us apart. Babe, I would rather be dead. I get lost away. Your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could think of no better place. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Oh, tear us apart. Babe, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. Walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let go. Oh, tear us apart. Sing it. Ooh, you're the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I ever met. Yes, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Oh, they won't tear us apart. Babe, I would rather be dead. Oh, you're the best. In the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of
I am forcing the teens to come up because what they don't realize, since they're new to this whole thing, is how you raise money to go to camp is if the church actually sees we have teens we're sending. So she doesn't need to speak, I promised, but my daughter Megan has been the beneficiary of so much generosity from the center and went from 13 until 18, and she this weekend is at teen advisor training to
be able to not only advise in Reno, because she's a teen advisor there, but if this center or the center in Reno ever needs her to serve in that capacity, she will be trained to do it. So it's huge, and we will and I'll tell you, it's changed the trajectory of my daughter's life. That camp, and I guess I went back in the day too. So, but on to the tweens. Thank you, ladies. Go serve breakfast.
Good morning. Good morning. So today we talked about the symbol over there and right here, basically what it means and how basically what the V means, what the lines are, and the circle represents the never-ending cycle of the law and never-ending God. And basically you plant a seed. So you say, I'm going to get a good job today, if you're just looking for a job. And that you plant that seed and it goes into the soil, and you don't have to make that soil work. You can know that it'll automatically work. And because you planted a positive seed, then a positive outcome will come in, like you getting a great job. I have one more thing. So this one's okay. So I'm pretty much all of you probably know that I'm doing a show here on June 1st. It's called Be Our Guest. It's a Disney show. So here's the flyer. There's a couple more back on the happenings table. So if you want to check out that, it's on June 1st at 6 p.m. It's a celebration of the Disney dinner show. So it's a dinner show. They'll have like Olive Garden and other stuff. It's here, so that's really fun. Blah, 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 blah. So the tickets, okay. So the tickets are $10 in advance. If you're coming right at the door, it's $15. And to buy tickets online, it's www.brownpapertickets.com/events/blah, blah, blah. And so yeah, there will be tons of these over there, so just take them out and here, you can have it. Yeah, so there's tons more over there, and so there'll be more like as we get further into it. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I really hope we can see you there.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. I love that. As you all, most of you know, I'm doing a show here. I know. All right, well, we're going to wrap this up. Stacy and Cheryl have already left for the airport, so they've left me here alone, and I'm sure they're in deep prayer as they're driving to the airport, thinking, what is he going to do? So we'll ask all the ministers, visiting ministers, all of our practitioners to please come forward. And we'll have everyone stand and connect. So let's just take a deep collective breath. And I allow that to remind me that each and every person shares the same air. And that reminds me that in fact there is only one. There is only one power, one presence, one infinite divine mind. There's only one life, and it is God's life. And this one life is infinite in its power, infinite in its wisdom and intelligence. It is infinite in its supply and abundance. And most of all, it is infinite in its love. That the very essence of this thing I call God is love. And its purest motivation is love. And so what I know is that this one life that is God's life and all of its attributes is my life now. It is the life of each and every person hearing my voice right now. And what I know then is that makes me and each and every person incredibly special. I know that right now I am holding the hands of God. And so in this knowingness of my power, the power power of each person in this room, I declare that at this very moment, each and every person has an amazing day today. That each and every person lets go of what no longer serves them and begins to think and to speak in the direction of their dreams. And what I know then is that each and every person using their power constructively and for what they want, what I know then is that soil that I don't have to help, I know that that soil will take each of these dreams and make them true. That is how it works. And so I give thanks. I give thanks that everyone has an incredible week. I give thanks that each and every person is guided and guarded and directed and protected. And I know that at this very moment, each and every person's dreams materialize. It is the best week ever. And so I release my word now into the perfect workings of the law. I know that as I have spoken, it's already done. So I simply let go, I let God, and I enjoy the ride. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. So sing.
And so it is.